So I was looking up some of the conspiracies surrounding the play Hamlet by William Shakespeare, and if you don't know Hamlet, then I don't really know what to say to you. You should know Hamlet. So I'm not going to summarize it here. Go read a summary. So one of the a lot of them were religious. I found one that it was just a metaphor for Catholicism bashing Protestantism, and one was just like vice versa. One that was Hamlet's Jewish, one that Hamlet's gay, which actually is plausible, and I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit with my primary one, which is that Hamlet is a girl, and although that seems kind of not real, it actually is internally sustainable within the play. So I'm going to talk about that. Basically, there has been a version of it that has been done by Austin Nielsen where she acts as Hamlet as if he was a boy raised as a girl because Gertrude, in that version, Old King Hamlet died, but as you probably know from reading it, that he actually died from having poison in his ear, so that doesn't make sense for the rest of the play. But it actually is plausible to determine that from how the text actually is written, and I'm going to go into that now. So first of all, Hamlet is an only child, so it's not, I mean, it's reasonable to assume that because they didn't have rubbers back then, that Gertrude probably was infertile, which would make it reasonable. Like, that's why, if it was a girl, they'd probably raise it as a boy so that they could politically keep the family line going and not have controversy, because back then they actually elected the next king, which is why Claudius was able to be the next king instead of Hamlet. It's not just by linear descension, and so that's one of the biggest problems people have with Hamlet, is why is he not automatically the king? Well, now you know. And so if she was infertile, that make it really easy for her to have an affair with Claudius, and because she married so quickly after Old King Hamlet died, she probably did have an affair beforehand, and if she was infertile, she wouldn't have to worry about showing or anything, which that is technically internally sustainable. Fourth thing is that Hamlet spends all of his time at school with a new set of peers than he had when he was younger. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern had been his best friends when he was younger, but as he grew up, he sort of phased out of their friendship, probably because if he was a girl, he didn't develop in the same way and was either kind of maybe afraid or jealous or something. But now he's at university, and he's between 25 and 35. This is also 1350, so we've got different educational standards back then. So that's why he's maybe 35 and still in college. So he spends his time at university, and the fifth reason is that he hates women. If you don't believe me, it's oh, Ophelia's his sweetheart. But no, she's actually not. In every single scene he's with her, he's either ignoring her or not understanding why someone would love her, or just yelling at her, "Get thee to a nunnery." You know, he says that 5 times in a row. It's kind of mean, but it's kind of why do you hate women? Because he also hates his mother, the only other female character, because back in Shakespeare's day they used boys to be women, so that's you can't have too many, because why would you have so many boys in the theater company? They're yeah, so they only have 2 women, but he also hates his mother. He's stop sleeping with your husband, which is rude and kind of disgusting, but also kind of the brother-in-law. But that's actually pretty normal for royal families, you know, it's not unheard of in that day, you know. So it's Louis the 15th slept with 3 sisters. They were his mistresses. He was married at that point. And everyone just assumed that the 4th sister would be his next mistress because it was normal to do that back then. So you've got that, and he kind of just hates his mother, telling her that she's made bad decisions in life and that she should remain chaste and everything. But she's obviously not chaste if she's his mother. So yeah, so he hates women either because he sees something in them that she wants to be, or just hates them for the weakness that she sees in herself. And that leads me to my next thing. So he doesn't like Ophelia because she's probably straight if she's a girl. I mean, he can't prove that. There are lots of theories that Hamlet is gay, and this is wise because Ophelia is not the love interest. Instead, it's most likely Horatio, but possibly also Laertes. I'll go into both of those. So he spends like all his time with Horatio at uni. So like he can't even go home for a month without bringing Horatio with him. Like even to like a funeral and a wedding, it's like, okay, come with me. Come on, it's like a holiday, but not because it's a funeral. And on the flip side, you've got Laertes, who one of the social patterns that Shakespeare uses a lot in his plays is to have two men, and um, they're both gay, but like because of the time period, they can't like openly show it to each other. So they will compete for the attention of a woman, and whoever gets the woman is dominant in the relationship. And so that's kind of what was going on with Laertes and Hamlet. Is Ophelia was the sister of Laertes, so he was trying to like keep her safe. Like he kept telling her not to like go with Hamlet's advances, and Hamlet was like trying to, like when he wasn't hating her, he was kind of wooing her, which can be interpreted if he's a girl, maybe like just wants a friend. She like misinterpreted because she had the hots for her or him, and so if you say that with Laertes, it's like a competition sort of thing. So obviously Ophelia killed herself, so I guess Hamlet won, although it's kind of inconclusive. Uh, Although they didn't sleep together, so maybe Laertes won. It's inconclusive. So if you go by that, then it's at least internally sustainable that one of those two is the case, and I kind of like it, especially since one of the oldest versions of Hamlet was with a woman, and like I don't technically believe it, but I kind of like that the theory exists, you know. Well,